Hello and welcome to the Society Podcast with Kat and Tit.
Hello.
Hello, hello. And this week we're joined by a very special guest. It's one Tharries.
Hello. Oh, thank you. The very nice introduction. I hope you're all doing well.
Yeah, all good, thank you, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Yeah, it's just been hectic life at the moment, but yeah, not Doctor Who related, just life related things.
Just like real life.
Yeah, just real life. Not fictional time traveling life. But no, I'm doing all right. Yeah, I'm excited to get down to it. I'm a bit out of practice. I haven't recorded something myself in a while, so this will be fun. Get me back into the swing of it.
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, thank you for coming on. I mean, I feel this might be slightly irrelevant, but I was going to say, for anyone that, for whatever reason, doesn't know who you are now, somehow, would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Tharries. I make Doctor Who YouTube videos, specifically mainly revolving around like kind of news theories. That's kind of my kind of area. Rumours and leaks as well, obviously. I've been doing it for a few years. I love the show. That's the gist of it, really. That's the long and short of it. Yeah.
Lovely stuff. And we're speaking to a Doctor Who star.
Yeah.
Someone who has been in Doctor Who.
You know, it's mad. It feels like an eternity ago for me. Because obviously it was already, 4 months ago that episode came out, roughly?
Yeah.
I think, the finale. And then obviously it was filmed before season 1 came out. So from my perspective, it feels like ages ago. It's like a lifetime ago, you know. But yeah, no, it was mad. It was what a day that was. You know, it was great. Like for me, it was my dream job. I just got to sit and watch Doctor Who happen live. You know, it's
literally unfold in front of you.
Yeah, it was. You know, it was. It was great fun, and I mean, people have pointed out like my cheer in the background as well. Personally, you know, I think that was Oscar worthy. I was snubbed. You know,
I'm surprised the BAFTA noms haven't come flooding in just yet.
I was waiting for the letter, never arrived. No, it was great though. I had a great time. Yeah, it's still
so
mad
cool
to think about it having happened, even though like it was so long ago. There's still a part of me that's like, when people bring it up, I'm like, oh yeah, that did happen, didn't it? Like,
that was the thing.
I think as well because it got so like lost in like everything that was happening at the time. You know, like the finale was happening, so everyone was really kind of, you know, sort of in the moment of that, and obviously like the cinema thing as well. So there was that kind of element of like, oh, everyone's going to the cinema and seeing it. And then obviously the finale itself comes out and everyone's got a lot of opinions on that, myself included. So I always got like kind of swept up in that, and I'm like, oh yeah, but that did happen. I got in at the right time, it seems. Any later, and I might have, you know, who knows? But anyway,
so true.
Yeah.
You got in, and they went, "Oh, we've had Tharries in this episode. We've peaked.
Yeah.
We
Can't do any more now."
Either that, or they thought, "Wow, this show's really hit the rocks. Yeah, this is the low point. You know, we gotta call it quits. Maybe if you're really cynical, you can look at it like
that." Today we were to round off our little Halloween themed month.
Yes.
Just in time for Halloween. We've it was called Spooky October, but I think it was me. One of us pronounced it wrong, so it's spooky. Oh god, it's Spooky Hottober now.
Okay. Yeah, I see it.
So if you jumping on board for that,
Spooky
Hottober.
Yeah.
And this is our final episode.
Yeah.
Where we're talking about the scariest moments of Doctor Who. How did you guys feel sort of put in?
Easy.
Yeah. Did it just sort of spring off? You go, oh, that bit and that part from that episode, and
this bit. And I remember distinctively not being able to sleep when I was a child because of this. And I remember hiding behind my sofa because of this. It was so easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw a couple of the suggestions. I mean, I hope that's not spoiling anything. I saw
No.
the reply chain, so I saw a couple of them, and I was like, oh yeah. So that gave me a couple of like memory jogs.
Yeah.
There's one in particular that like I saw suggested. I can't remember. We'll find out. But there's one in particular someone suggested that I was like, yeah, that's the one for me. So I'll let you know which one that is when we get there.
Lovely
yeah,
stuff.
there you go.
Beautiful. Well, how do you want to do it? Do you want to just
I think our special guest should start us off.
go around and we'll just suggest a moment and have a chat about it for a bit?
Absolutely.
All right. Okay. So I was thinking about this when you asked me the question of like moments that are kind of sort of ingrained in like my mind. It's funny, like a lot of the ones that people automatically suggest aren't immediately the ones that jump out at me immediately. It's more the stuff that's like kind of I mean, like, one that's not necessarily, like, a scare in the traditional sense, but one that, like, I would say sort of, like, made me question, like, the world was definitely Turn Left. The scene in particular where, obviously, I can't remember the guy's name, the Italian guy who they're living with, gets sent away. That scene has forever, like, made a mark, and I guess I don't know whether it's not scary in the traditional sense, but it's scary in what it represents.
Yeah,
and what it kind of shows how how easily people can fall into that kind of society if they're not careful. And I think that's like even more prescient than it like ever has been.
Absolutely.
With everything going on, so I think that scene for me, it's such a powerful scene, and like it's one of those things where it works so well because you get to know him. He becomes such a warm, nice presence for everyone, and then you just get that gut punch in there. And I mean that whole world is just, it's so well realized, and it kind of like it exemplifies the world building of that era that was so good. Obviously, and then because that world building's so good, you can invert it and create something wholly different, but also like wholly logical within what could have happened if the Doctor wasn't there. And I think stuff like that, that's kind of an interesting scare factor for me, is when the Doctor is taken out of the equation. I think
what happens?
Children of Earth is another good kind of obvious go-to for that. So yeah, that'd be my first kind of suggestion. Turn Left in particular, but more broadly, I guess, when the Doctor isn't there, I think really interesting things happen. Because the Doctor himself is such a powerful entity, or has become such, and has become so mythologized, that I think when you take that away, the world of Doctor Who becomes that much more scary, because it's just normal people dealing with these situations.
Yeah, well, I mean, because the Doctor within the show and within any given story is like that beacon of hope, and that everything's going to be all right because
we've got the Doctor to.
So yeah, as soon as you take him out, it is just like, oh no, there's these horrible things, and that we've just got to deal with and try not to die or for the world to end. It's interesting that because I was going to talk about this a little bit later, but I think there's so many different types of scares and like horror that Doctor Who does. And you've kind of hit that nail on the head, right from the get-go, because that sort of existential, sort of like political, not even like political, but like just that bleakness of just, it's not a jump scare, or it's not a monster, or a creepy effect, or something from a horror film. It's
just a version of reality.
Yeah, I think it's almost more scary
than just a jump scare.
I think it's that element, and it's like showing the ugly sides of like us as well. That feels so like, oh yeah, we really can be like that. Or we really would probably do this if it came down to it. And I think that's something fascinating. I mean, like, it reminds me of that line in series 3. The Master says the human race, greatest monsters of them all. And even though the Doctor objects to that, to a certain extent, he has a point. That's the that's the thing about it. And I think that's a really interesting just like thing that Doctor Who explores that I don't think much other sci-fi really does, or can't quite in the same way, because because Doctor Who is a more grounded thing. You know, it is more Earth-centric. It it allows for more reflection of us, more directly, and I think that can be quite like, oh, yeah, that hits quite hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sobering, isn't it? I think it's, and I think especially within the framework of a show like Doctor Who, which is, you know, full of magic and wonder, and you know, when it does go, but also this terrible thing.
Yeah,
it's like,
it hits home a bit.
Yeah, it kind of. I think because you've got a bit more of that juxtaposition of, you know, it hurts.
Yeah,
it hurts. But that's a great first first pick. Well, I'll hand over to you.
To oppose that, I think the first one that came into my head when, like, straight off the bat when we were talking about Scariest Moments was from the classic era.
Okay.
And it is one of the scariest moments. And I think if I was around in that time, I would have had nightmares and probably counselling afterwards. It's the scene from Spearhead in Space with the Auton climbing out of the woods, and the car swerves into the tree, and then you just get that shot of the Auton, and then it pans to the cracked window screen, blood all over it, the driver just dead on the wheel, and then you just have that reflection of the Auton, and then it just goes about its day. A, just the scene on its own is horrifying. B, how, like, visual it is.
Like how graphic.
It's graphic. It's hard to watch. And just the masks of the Auton anyway. Like, especially that one. Like, some of them, when they're walking in the street and stuff, like, they're a bit more well-produced, maybe. But that one, with the eyes wonky, you can see the skin underneath, and it looks like the plastic has just melted and remolded.
Yeah.
Terrifying. That was the first thing that came into my head when it was like Scariest Moments. Oh, okay. Instantly, that shot.
That's a good one. It wouldn't have been something I'd have like thought of, but it is really good. Cause I remember when watching like Spearhead from Space, the Autons, like, obviously the Autons are always like nice to see, but I don't think they've ever been one where I'm like, oh, they're scary, you know. But like Spearhead from Space and Terror the Autons, actually, both of them, you're like, oh no, they're quite horrifying when you actually think about it and you actually look at what they are. You're like, oh. That is mad and grim in a sense. No, completely. Like, obviously on that as well. I think it is Terror, isn't it? The one everyone points out is the chair, the inflatable chair.
It is, Terror. Yeah.
Which it looks silly, but also when you think about that for more than 2 seconds, you're like, oh, but that's. I wouldn't want to be in that situation, you know.
Yeah, I'd rather not sit down and be completely engulfed by myself.
Yeah, you know. I mean, look, I've got a personal, connection to chairs, and to think that they could betray me like that is crazy. But you know, they can.
How rude! How rude! So fickle.
But no, honestly, I think that's also on that as well. The when the Doctor is in Madame Tussauds, I believe, is it in that story? Yeah, and obviously. The Autons are hiding in there as well. That's really good. Yeah, like stuff like that is really, really, really good. Yeah.
Absolutely, because like I remember watching Rose when I was younger, and even to this day, I'm 27 years ago. So 27 years ago. Try again. I'm 27 years old, and I did watch. Yeah, I was about 6, 7 at the time, and I'm still like careful around mannequins. Which is absolutely ridiculous, because it's an irrational fear, because I know that mannequin isn't going to move, and I know it's a shared experience. I'm very aware that this is not unique to me.
No,
but I'm genuinely still terrified.
My brother, who is now 16, when he was like really young, we showed him Rose, and I remember for like weeks afterwards. Whenever we'd go past a shop, there would be that little kind of, shuffle behind mum kind of moment of like, oh no. Because,
absolutely.
it's that thing that Doctor Who does so brilliantly of like taking something so normal and just making it like, just making you second guess it and look at it again and go, hang on, what's going on over there? And I think that's it. Yeah, no, I mean, the Autons, like, in the new series, I never really, like was scared by them, but, like, classic series, definitely, I could kind of, there was more of a, I guess, it's not quite body horror, but, you know what I mean, there's more of that kind of grossness to them in the classic
They are
series.
gross.
Yeah.
The classic series do, not more with them, I think it's down to the time period that they're in. It's like that kind of not starting out in prosthetics, but it's just the period that they're in, and that's the level of greatness that they could achieve at that point.
And I think also that's what actual shop mannequins look like as well.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like as opposed to the sort of more polished 2000s.
I completely agree, but I mean in terms of like being able to visually see skin under
I see.
Masks not quite fitting right, and having to like use like clunky scarves and stuff to hide the seams, but then when you do see the seams and it's kind of like black underneath, that's even scarier because it looks like there's nothing in there and it is sentient. So like even though they don't mean to, it adds that extra layer to it.
I guess it's the same reason as well, like classic Cybermen are seen as like
I was just about to say
because you can see the person underneath more clearly, like with a lot of...
And I think that's one of the things that I love the most about our first appearance of the Cybermen, specifically Mondasian Cybermen, seeing the hands, seeing some of the skin. It just makes you reflect upon how they were human.
Yeah, and I think just because you get those tiny little glimpses of like...
mouth.
Or the eye behind the cloth, or like, it just... it feels
more real.
Yeah, and you get that kind of like sense of like
dread,
suffocating. That it feels like you're seeing a human face with cloth sort of stretched across, and there's a real sort of like macabre.
Yeah, it's basically being shoved into that like kind of space. Completely like it's amazing really when you think about like how little money they had. How effective a lot of those early designs are, and just going, that is quite eerie looking, or stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's horrible. Some of the classic designs, they really, some of them are bubble wrap and tinfoil, and
I love those too.
But like, some of them, even on the same budget, look. Yeah, great. I think the Autons, the Cybermen, the Zygons, that's another great little monster design.
Wrong colour, but it's one.
Well, the first one that came to mind when I thought of like Scariest Moments was from the same series as Tharries mentioned. And of course it's from Midnight.
Knew it. I knew your first one was going to be Midnight.
It's got to be. Yeah. It's got to be.
It was so predictable.
It's got to be. It's so. I love that story.
Oh, just all of it.
Just all of it, just the whole thing. No, specifically the do we have a deal moment when Skye speaks before the Doctor.
Yeah.
Just that as like a stomach drop moment for me. I remember, like, distinctly remember watching that as a kid and being like, what? And I think, because it's all sort of built into that, and it's not, it seems quite logical that that's how it would work. It repeats, then it speaks at the same time, then obviously it speaks before you. Yeah. But I think just that moment and Murray's score kind of build into that, the direction, just that slow pan on the two shot of the two actors, and then Tennant's performance in that just dribbling and like eyes like
wide open.
thick, like yeah. It's horrible, and I think it's similar to what you were saying, Tharries, about the horror of the Doctor's not here now.
Yeah.
And I think especially in that story, when he's because that's obviously what it's based around. It's the fact that he can, like 99% of the time, he can walk into a room, swagger about, do
his thing,
speak at 200 words per minute, and save the day, and everybody trusts him because he's David Tennant and he's charismatic and charming and all of this. And then that becomes his downfall here, and that ego does him in, really. And like his ego does him in with the other passengers, but also the fact that it's his curiosity of he needs to have these answers, and he needs to talk to it, and that's why it latches onto him, because he spends the most time interacting. So he kind of just
it's his own fault.
It's his own fault.
It's his own fault.
What you were saying there as well about like the Doctor normally being able to like parade, and I think it's one of the reasons why I wouldn't say this is like scariest moment, but just the Doctor's the original interactions the Doctor has with Sutak in Pyramids of Mars are so effective, because Tom's Doctor is very much, well, he can give a wink and a smile and a laugh, and Tom particularly will take the mick out of the monsters constantly. So when you have, and like that's part of like why everyone loves him. But when you get a villain like Sutak, who the Doctor is just completely like, no, like I can't deal with this, like, and is fully just ready to subjugate him. I think there's something so effective about that, because it's because it's so rare, And I think it's similar with the Midnight Entity as well. It's that thing of seeing this person who is normally so confident, so powerful, reduced to basically, a blubbering wreck in Midnight's case. It's really effective. And obviously, you said before about the passengers as well, and that kind of ties into my whole thing of humans being also, terrible as well, because they basically do him in. They basically let him take the fall.
They're happy for him.
And so like, no, that's a great one. I mean, Midnight's just fantastic, isn't it? Like, it's just
it's such a great story.
It's so good.
I could have picked like a dozen moments just from Midnight for this list, like as Scariest Moment, but that's the one, because I think that's when for me the real sort of the horror goes past just like scary, and it's like dread. But yeah, it's always it was always going to be first pick from Midnight. We'll hand back over to you.
All right. Well, I think I'll tell you what. I'll go for the one that I saw. I hope it's not too, but it's probably my most scared I've ever been by a Doctor Who thing. So it'd be remiss of me not to mention it, and it gave me a lifelong phobia. So I kind of have to address it. But it's not Doctor Who. It's Sarah Jane Adventures.
I know exactly. I know what you're gonna say.
It's coming. It's just the entirety of the Day of the Clown. The entirety of that. They basically just made it for children.
That's exactly what it was.
And it's crazy. Like that. It's funny. As a kid, I always found. I don't know whether you guys felt this already. I know I did, because I watched Sarah Jane Adventures more as a kid, because obviously it was on during the day. I always found Sarah Jane Adventures the scarier of the two. I don't know whether that's a common experience, but I always was more freaked out by most Sarah Jane Adventures episodes than Doctor Who ones. Most of the time, not always. Depends on the episode.
I think because it was targeted at what our age would have been
at the time
while it was airing, that it's more focused. So when scary things did happen, it's more of a relation to us at our age, so it feels more scarier. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's sort of designed.
It's designed to scare
us. You see yourself more in the characters as well. Like, I think that's the other thing. You can imagine yourself in the same scenarios in a way that you maybe can't quite as well with, obviously, the Doctor and the Companion, who are like fully grown adults. They're young
Literally,
by like most people's standards, but when you're a kid, they're adults, so there's that level of separation.
Absolutely.
And obviously Sarah's there, but obviously everyone else is, basically a child, and it's, I think that's probably an element to it. But yeah, the entirety of that episode, it gave me my lifelong, I've gotten a lot better at it now, clown-wise, but it's still one of those things where I'm like, oh, no, clowns are the thing for me that just... And it's because of that episode. And I think, as well, going back to that, I think it's because Sarah is so scared of...
the adult who would make you feel safe is also scared. Then you know that it's a real threat.
She's also, absolutely bricking it as well.
Yeah.
And obviously it ties into, like, her childhood, like, phobia as well and all that. So that entire episode for me... I don't know whether I've watched it from beginning to end since being a child, to be honest. I think that might be the one that I have struggled with for that long. It's mad. But, even with, like, obviously this wouldn't be, like, this isn't as scary, but even there's that episode where it's the red alien and they've taken over, like, the theme park. I don't know whether...
Yes.
I can't remember the name of it. And the kids just have red eyes. And, like, it's such a simple effect, but you're like, oh, don't like that, don't like that.
Yeah.
Off-putting, and they're just dead smiling. They're just smiling, no reaction. Stuff like that. Just something about like fairs and like circuses.
It's carnivals and fairground rides, all of that.
It's quite sinister.
It's extremely sinister.
I think it's that juxtaposition of it's fun, happy, everybody's enjoying themselves, everyone's smiling, and it's fun, and there's nothing bad going on here. Definitely,
you can filter through so much horror and evil through that.
Just
mask it in what it's designed to do, and that's what's really thrilling about it.
100%, and I think there's a level of like falsity to like circuses. And there's that level of, I guess, like that artificialness to them, where where everyone's acting happy and hyper exaggerated and very like,
it's superficial, isn't it?
It's like, it's that feeling of like it's not an authentic emotion. It's almost it's like uncanny valley but for feelings. I don't know whether you really describe it any other way.
It is
where it's like it just feels like inauthentic, and I think that's the thing with clowns is they're always smiling even when there's nothing to smile about, and even then, sometimes when a clown frowns as well, and it's that very exaggerated sort of frown.
Like mouth movements.
You're like,
and I think also you were saying about like the uncanny valley. I think there's something, like the physical of having that sort of painted smile. And then the clown could be frowning, but there's still a smile there, and or even just straight face, and it's like, I know that there's something wrong. It's like your brain can't quite work out what the face is doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've never thought about it too like in depth because it never used to be there. It was Sarah Jane Adventures to put that phobia there, so I have that to thank for it. But no, like I think they were very bold with that series. I think. And I bet there's quite a few people who probably had like Sarah Jane Adventures episodes that have really gotten their like
tormented them.
Gotten in their heads. I mean, another one I think of as well, and it kind of comes back to the painted face thing as well. Actually, is the Nightmare Man, obviously as well.
That I can't even watch that episode now.
Yeah, it's funny though when you realise that it's the guy who does Davros, whose name escapes me.
Julian Bleach.
It's Julian Bleach there. Same goes for being Bradley Walsh in...
Bradley Walsh,
That slightly has made it easier to look back on a little bit. When you realise it's Bradley Walsh, that kind of does... that does help. I always wonder if he remembers doing it. Probably.
I think there's an interview with him talking about it.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, when he was cast for Graham... There was an interview, I can't remember where I saw it, but someone interviewed him and was like, oh, because you've been on Doctor Who before in the Sarah Jane Adventures, and I remember him talking about it. And I was like, was he? Because I remember going back, seeing what episode it was, and was like, nope. Not going to happen.
Yeah. I would remember whenever there'd be like repeats of that episode, like whenever there'd be like repeats of Sarah Jane Adventures on CBC, there's always be a slight part of me that was like praying it wasn't that one.
Please don't.
You know, like anything other than that one, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
That one, nah, we're done. No,
Nah.
I'm putting something else on. Yeah.
I remember when I watched that episode, because my mum was always scared of clowns, and I was like, "You're ridiculous. I don't know why you're scared of that." And then I remember watching that Sarah Jane Adventures and being like, I'm also now scared of clowns. Thank you. I live in that with you, mother. And then there's always, in my hometown, there was a touring circus, and it always came, and it was always where the field was. It was like just a bit from my house. And my friend who I used to dance with, her mum was like, "Oh, I'm taking so-and-so to the circus. Would you like to come?" And I went, "No." And she's like, "Oh, well, I can get you a ticket. It's no problem." I was like, "No, I don't want to go." And she's like, "Oh, is it because your mum's scared of clowns?" I was like, "I am not going in there. You could not pay me enough to go and sit inside that circus." I was like, "Absolutely not."
Yeah.
My mum was trying to encourage me, like, "It's okay, everything's okay." I was like, "I'm not going in there." And I didn't
notice
go.
how she didn't volunteer herself to go with you there. That's the thing.
Yeah. I'll put your hand through it.
No, well, you can.
Mum was like, "Absolutely not. I'm not doing it. But you should go." I was like, "Yeah. No." Have you seen that episode of Sarah Jane?
Yeah.
Well, speaking of like actual fears that kind of feed into, you know, sort of them being shown on screen, do you guys have any other? So we've spoken there about clowns. Do you guys have any other sort of phobias or things that might have popped up in Doctor Who or spin-offs or anything?
The gas mask children, which is one of my other scariest moments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those gas masks. I'm not a fan of anything covering faces. I don't do masks at all. I don't like not being able to see true expression under the face. Don't like it. So the gas mask child spooked me a bit. That's probably the only fear, though. I'm trying to think back. What about you, Tharries?
I used to have a weird thing, again, not so much now, but like, kind of, like, dolls and puppets. So there's the things in, is it the God Complex?
Yeah, the ventriloquist.
Oh, the little ventriloquist dummies,
They kind of had me as well, a little bit.
Yeah.
Where I got that phobia from wasn't even Doctor Who, though. It was Charlie the Chocolate Factory. Do you ever... The 2005 one, the Tim Burton one?
Yes!
Yeah, yeah. And
I thought I was alone in that experience.
No, yeah, I had that exact same thing. Yeah.
I remember watching that, seeing that, and I sat there and I sobbed, and I sobbed, and I sobbed. And my mum, I remember I was at my step-nan's, and my mum was there, and they had to turn it off because I would not stop crying. Yeah. And then my brother had a little puppet, like an original, like little puppet that with the wood and the string and all of that, and that used to live under my bed at my dad's, and that absolutely came away. That was, I couldn't do anything to do with puppets because of that. And I'm so glad that I thought that was a unique experience, and it's not. And I'm glad that I could share that with someone.
No, I was the thing is, my auntie got me that Charlie the Chocolate Factory, but when I asked for that film, I wanted the 1971 film, but obviously she didn't know that. So I didn't know there was another one, so I was like, "What's this one?" And I was like, "All right, well, you know." And then I saw that, and I was like, "Oh no!" And like,
I'm scared now.
I mean, to this day, I have a personal vendetta against the 2005 Charlie the Chocolate Factory. Slightly. But yeah, so I'd say the other thing would have been kind of dolls, puppets. I had a phase of that. Again, not so much anymore, but like, especially as a kid, it was like, nah.
So you watched Night Terrors and absolutely ran out of the room.
Night Terrors was weird, because that was one where it's like, a little bit, but not as much. I think it's because they were more paperish. That was more okay. Like, I was more alright with that. But it's when they look more human-y looking, I guess, is probably the way that you would describe it. Like, for example, like, you know, like someone looks at like a, I don't know, like a teddy bear or like a Sylvanian Families or something. I don't think anyone's going like, "Oh no," mate, or maybe they are. I don't know. I haven't met anyone who's anyway, but like, I think there's something about like, particularly those like old porcelain style kind of like you know, sort of
I don't do
very,
those.
very human-y looking, like, you know, real life looking faces. But again, it's that
Yeah.
uncanny valley element of
Yeah.
they're not actually a thing, are they? They're,
Yeah.
you know, they look like it, but they aren't. And I think that's probably, where a lot of it comes from. Is just, you know, that kind of weird, unsettling nature to that. So yeah, I'd say that's probably the other thing. Night Terrors was weird because that one I was less bothered by, but I always used to think that, like, I used to kind of think that, like, it was a terrible scenario to be in, and I would want to be in it, but the actual dolls themselves were fine. I always thought, with that episode in particular, I was like, oh, imagine if they did, like, a Toy Maker episode like that. I always thought, you know, that would be... and we did eventually get one, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, so that's probably the other thing, I would say, in terms of, like, real-life phobias, probably that's the other one that they've gone into. But other than that, like, you know, like, things like spiders and that never really phased... I take it someone was, judging by I got facial expressions.
I love big spiders.
Yeah, Cat's the opposite of...
I love that.
Sugar. I'm so sorry, I've just knocked a glass of water
That's
over.
alright.
Yes, so before to so rudely drowned my flat.
I did.
No, because I love Planet of the Spiders and I love Arachnids in the UK. I love big spiders.
One of those stories is better than the other. Can you tell which it is?
Yeah, but big spiders in it, so... Wait, what are you going to do?
See, because I don't really have any, like, phobias. It's more stuff that I, like, just don't really like, rather than being afraid of.
Okay.
So, like, my two things are moths.
Oh,
don't like them.
So Can You Hear Me was not a fun experience for you? No, not Can You Hear Me.
Oh, It Takes You Away.
It Takes You Away, sorry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it didn't bother me. Like, I can see him on screen.
They're just a bit grim, aren't they? They're just a bit like...
Yeah, I just don't like something fluttering in my face. I just get away. And the other thing I don't like is belly buttons.
Yeah, you got weird there. I remember when I tried to touch your belly button before, and you literally gagged and then ran away.
It's not a fear. It just makes me feel sick.
Wow.
I just really don't like it.
If there is a belly button episode, you know,
not this guy.
You know?
Yeah. Well, even the bit in, speaking of Sarah Jane Adventures, the bit in Invasion of the Bane where it's
where he doesn't have one.
with Luke not having one, I always found that a bit like...
That's where it stemmed from. You saw that and were like, that's not...
That's not right.
Surely if you were scared of the belly button, though, you'd be like, finally, the perfect being has been created. There's not one there. You know?
The perfect boy.
It's gone.
Yeah, but I think that the absence of it just made me go, oh, made me think about it.
Okay.
But yeah.
So how do any of those correlate to a Doctor Who episode?
I've just told you.
Oh, just that. But what about the moths?
Yeah, it takes you away. I was just saying generally about like phobias. Yeah.
You're trying to link it to Doctor Who, like me and Tharries just did, but you're just.
Well, you guys have got things that have been actually.
Do you know what actually I don't like, and it does freak me out, and it's not like scariest moments, but it's like freakiest moments of Doctor Who that I genuinely feel uncomfortable with. Mm-hmm. You know, at the end of The Empty Child when Constantine turns into a gas mask person. How did they allow that? How did they get away with that?
I don't know. It's pretty close to the knuckle, isn't it?
Like they thought, right, okay, I want to do this. How close can we push it before we're not allowed to air this episode? Wasn't there a thing that they weren't allowed to air the episode? Was that episode?
They originally, I think it had some extra sound effects on it that they took it, and I don't know if it's that they took it out for the broadcast or that they took it out for future like home video releases or something. Right. But it had like the sound of his skull cracking and stuff. Like,
I know there was something that I had to remove or take away. So that the physical seeing his whole face transform
it's
and like
the bulging eyes for me, like as well as choke it. Yeah.
The little bit. I don't know what's it called. What's it called? The mouthpiece.
Yeah.
That.
I feel
Planet
like
of the
Ooze. Yeah.
Choking out the little tentacles, peeling his scalp off
that is mad,
to reveal again how in the hell that it's tamer, it's milder, but also horrifying. And I was just like, it's because you can hear it peel and crack because he like takes and you see, because they've got like a sticky film over it, you can see like as if the scalp is like stuck to the skull and
the sort of like
off, and it's like the residue.
the membrane. Yeah.
Not okay. Third one is the night terrors, when he starts convulsing and turns into the peg doll when she touches him, and it starts growing from him and it transforms. That one's not as bad, but it like transforms his face, and then he turns around and looks up and he's a peg doll. Not okay. Those three, not okay.
No, like there were like moments. Like as soon as you mentioned the child, I knew the Planet of the Ood one was coming next. You know what I mean? It's that. It's that kind of like that thing. I'm always impressed though by like that empty child transformation. Like to this day, I think it's like an impressive, like decent VFX work still. Like I think it's really well done.
I was gonna say it aged perfectly fine. Like some of them can get a bit, fluffy. I don't know what the word is.
Yeah.
I don't know what you were going for.
No, I know what you mean. But they can like look a bit like artificial, I guess. That one is like that one's really good. I think that's another thing I was going to mention as well. Is how we're talking about like kind of that like that kind of twisting of things that we're happy with, like the circus and like fairs and things like that. I think. Another good example of that is obviously I think it's why people find the empty children so scary. It's taking childhood and child innocence and kind of shifting that around. I think as well is probably another one that people generally probably find a little bit like, oh yeah, that's a bit
riding off the back of that. Exactly. I think it's the Doctor dances. I think it's when Jack, Rose, and the Doctor are in the kids' room, and it's got the tape,
the end of the tape,
and it's flicking, and he hears Rose go, "What's that noise?"
Yeah, and you've just got that rattle.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
then it's like, I can't line. When it's like, we've just sent the most powerful whatever, and we've just sent it to its room, and then they turn around, it's like,
yeah.
And it's such a good moment that Moffat recycles it and uses it over and over. Like, I mean, he uses it again in the same story with the typewriter bit.
I love that.
Then who's and then Girl in the Fireplace, the whole thing of like, oh, then what's that ticking noise? Like,
okay, well that's my other one, but I'll save it, so I'll give someone else a turn.
I will say, just jumping off of that, the droids also gave me a little bit of the clockwork droids in that also gave me, again, it comes back to that porcelain kind of masky kind of like, face that's not quite a face, but it moves like it is like a face. I'm not doing a good job of explaining it, but I think because I remember going to, and this is a throwback if anyone was there, shout out to you. I think it was Doctor Who Live in Cardiff. It was one of the music ones where the monsters would come out, similar to the prom kind of thing. And I remember like a clockwork droid coming up like proper close, and I was like, no. I also remember trying to get to the toilet, and one of the actors who was playing the Smilers, which are also another one that I
hated those.
Were like following us to the, like they were following sort of along for a second. So stuff like that's just, you just unlocked a bit of a core memory in there.
Yeah.
But no, like the clockwork droids, there is something quite. I think it's the kind of uncanny, like the way they move as well, being very kind of stilted, but like kind of also like they still look like people. Kind of thing, well, until you take the mask off, and then it's obviously, without that mask on, they're not scary at all. They're just like little droid things. They look like like the Star Wars droids or something. But with something about the mask and putting like a wig on them, and like I don't know, it just changes the changes the feel of them. And I don't know, I think it probably just comes back to that, making it look sort of human, but not really.
Yeah, because it was all the correct time period clothing, even down to the makeup. The only difference was the porcelain face.
Yeah.
Like the actual like porcelain and the correct effect. That's the only thing that wasn't true to what that time period was. So it is genuinely frightening. There's one bit in it that gave me nightmares as a kid, and there was only one thing that stopped it from giving me nightmares. It's the bit when Renee's on the bed and the doctor's like, the clock on the mantelpiece is broken, but what's that ticking? And he goes under the bed and you just see the glimpse of the head and then it pans to the feet. And then you go up and it's
when it
it's
like
the back
snatches
the back of the
at the
wig.
stomach. Yeah.
That bit is the situation under the bed. I don't do under the bed. Because before that, I had this, right, I don't do dolls in general. And my dad thought it'd be a good idea to buy me this doll. Right, I'm a small person. Everyone knows I'm a small person. I'm 4'8". Think of what I was like when I was like 3 years old, okay? So he brought me this doll, life size for me. And she spoke and something fell on her under my bed in the middle of the night and she started speaking. That took me, I was sleeping in my mum's bed for so long. Anyway, series 2, Doctor Who happens. That clockwork droid's under the bed. That's a no for me. Again, sleeping in my mum's bed, right? That was a no for me. The only thing that stopped me from not being scared of that is when my mum brought me the figure of it when they were releasing the character options.
Right.
And I had that and I was able to take the head off. And I was really fascinated with the way it looked like the Doctor was in the episode, because I think the actual like robotics is beautiful.
Yeah.
And I've got a fascination with clear white and gold, so that's like my colour scheme. So I was like, when I got that and I took the head off and I had it headless in my room, it stopped me being afraid because my headless clockwork man was protecting me.
I kind of get that though. When you have something, I kind of get it though. When you have something physical to interact with, it does become less.
Yeah.
When you can understand what it is, there is that level of okay, you know. And like now, you know, it's just it's just another Doctor Who monster. But when you don't know how it all comes together, it really does kind of have that effect on children, which is what's so great about Doctor Who. That's what it's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
You know.
Yeah, that was a no-go for me.
And I think it's fun how obviously they play with let's scare the kids.
Yeah,
like
100%. Yeah.
You know, Moffat doing that with the monster under the bed.
Yeah,
like that's
literally
like just a classic like childhood fear.
Yeah,
and it's the same with like the library 2-parter with the fear of the dark.
Yeah,
like immediately makes
everything scary.
The dark scary. Yeah.
The thing that makes that scary is literally the line of dialogue when they're like, it's not every shadow, but it's any shadow.
Yeah.
So not everything has Fashion Errata in it, but that one could.
Yeah.
Have fun with that.
Just making you sort of second guess.
Thank you.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, no, that's a really good one. I think Moffat was the master on it, wasn't he? Just taking those primal fears and just turning them into something. I mean, you know, obviously none of us have mentioned it because they never really bothered me, but the Weeping Angels are obviously the obvious go-to for that.
That's actually one thing that never scared me.
No, neither. And it's interesting, isn't it? Because on the surface they probably should, because they are quite they are quite human looking, you know, and they move in that kind of way. But for some reason they didn't. But what I will say is they are absolutely fantastic for jump scares. So, you know, like, so for that, you know, and I'm terrible with jump scares generally, you know, anything like that, I jump at everything. A loud noise, you know, like a loud noise. It could be like, you know, someone's changing their tone of voice to like too loud too quickly. Like it's happened. Like I'll be watching a movie or like, you know, a video, and they'll start shouting, and from being quite like normal speed, like like that, and I was like, you know.
Please tell me that when the Doctor shouts "Maiden" in the Unicorn and the Wasp, that jump scared you.
Maiden. I'm not sure. Possibly it could have done. I'm not sure specifically that one. But I can't think of specific instances, but I definitely know that has happened for sure.
Yeah.
Where like people will start just shouting really loud, and you're like, "Oh, calm down," you know.
Yeah.
I think as well when you're watching television as well, or you're like playing a game. Sometimes your mind can enter that kind of wandery state.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's when like jump scares happen, isn't it? When you're like, kind of, your mind's wandering, and then all of a sudden it's just like, oh
Yeah.
sorry, still here. Yeah. No, yeah. So that's another thing. I'm not very good with jump scares in general, but the Weeping Angels are great at that. If you ever play one of the like, I can't remember which video game it is now, but there's been a couple of them where like they're like just so good for that. Just you turn around and then they're there, and you're like, oh no.
Like Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Weeping Angel edition.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of things have kind of been like inspired by them as well, which I think just kind of shows like what a great idea they were. I'm trying to think if there's any moment in Classic Who, because I haven't mentioned a Classic Who one that scared me yet. I wouldn't say it scared me, but I would say that I think it's quite visually horrifying. It's the one in Revelation of the Daleks where you see the half-converted Dalek mutant going from a human to a bird, and he's like, "Kill me! Kill me! Let me die!" It's like, oh my god, how did they get away with that? Tea time on like a Saturday. That's because as well in that one you have like a bloke just getting stabbed as well. There's that bit as well with is it Job? Is it? I think he just gets shanked in the chest. And you're like, wow,
it's a really dark story. Like, because I mean, as you say, it's going out at tea time, and obviously this is around the time where it's like, is Doctor Who too violent? And you see a story like this, and it's like,
yes.
Oh, yeah, there's stabbings and talk of euthanasia and cannibalism, and it's like, oh, yeah, maybe they got a point, actually.
Maybe we need to dial it down just a little bit.
Similar time period, the bit in Attack of the Cybermen, is it Lytton, the one who's also in Resurrection of the Daleks? The Cybermen just like cracks his like...
crushing his hands.
Crushing his like, knuckles. It's like, oh my god, like, and like the blood's just like gushing out. Like, wow. That's the only thing I don't like Attack of the Cybermen, but that's the one thing that episode does good is all of the body horror and conversion stuff. That's what they nail on the head as well,
in the chamber with the half converted. Yeah, that's really good.
It's got some good stuff in there. Yeah, I'm also trying to think of like classic.
There's another classic one that sticks out to me only because I remember watching it when I was younger. It still falls within that kind of androidy thing, and I remember screaming at the top of my lungs when I saw it. When Sarah, in the Android Invasion, when Sarah falls to the floor and her face falls off.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just the android. I screamed.
Yeah.
So hard.
It's
scary.
Still kind of holds up.
Yeah, it does. It's terrifying. I screamed so hard.
It was
scary.
It's not a very nice visual. But I think anything like that, like possession or duplicates or anything like that, I think that can be quite sort of unnerving, especially if it's a character that you've sort of grown to know and love. And
I think that kind of applies to what you were saying earlier with Midnight as well. I think there's something quite ominous about the idea of someone's voice and identity being taken away from them and given to something else. This is a very niche example, but I'll go with it. I remember watching, like, I got sent this video of some weird guy who'd made like an AI video of me. So it was a video of me talking and making, like, I was saying just absolutely terrible things. But it was obviously coming out of my mouth, and it was my... obviously you've seen those ones before where, like, they'll get celebrities to say, like, all sorts of, things.
Yeah.
But seeing it done to yourself is quite like a...
That's gotta be weird.
Yeah, it is. It was. I was sat there and I was like, strange. Because it's like, you can tell it's my voice, but it also isn't quite. You can tell that it's somewhat struggling with the inflections and the specific kind of like dialect and stuff. So it's that kind of like, I don't know. There's something quite off-putting about that. And like I imagine that's probably the closest you can get to experiencing like the midnight thing of your like voice being replicated.
It's not quite,
in that way. Because I think that's one of the really interesting things as well, is that like a lot of Doctor Who monsters and kind of like AI, there's a parallel to a lot of that, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like obviously Cybermen are a great example of that. You know, replicating the things that aren't quite human. Although it's kind of weird, isn't it? Like it's an inversion of what we thought it would be. The Cybermen are stripping the emotion out of people, but in many ways we're trying to simulate real, you know, emotion and expression and stuff like. It's kind of the reverse of what it was, you know, Doctor Who would say it would be, which is we're trying to take away emotions. In this case, we're actually trying to get the machines to understand
and replicate emotion.
Yeah, which is weird. But yeah, so I'm just all that to say, I can kind of relate to the Doctor now, having happened. You could probably find it somewhere. But like, yeah, I remember seeing that and just being like, what the, what on earth, you know?
That's so
Someone
weird.
took the time to do that.
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it?
That's bizarre.
I mean, well.
Sorry it happened to you.
Yeah.
That's alright. I was more just baffled than anything else. I was more just sat there like, what on earth am I looking at? Like, and I think it's that thing of like, you see it done to like celebrities and politicians, and like obviously in that case it's like it's still not good, but you sort of, it comes with the territory. Seeing it done to someone just relatively normal is like, oh no, this technology can just be used on anyone as well now. So
on anything, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's quite like, oh, that's not a Doctor Who fear really. That's just a real life.
You've been
real
in
life
Who,
fear,
Yeah, I mean, technically, you could say tangentially,
It's tangentially related, yeah. Well, actually, as you were speaking about that, you reminded me of another one, slightly more recent, but that idea of something being not quite right and not quite you. The not things from.
Yes.
I thought you said
you always call them the no things.
I thought you told me off for calling them the not things.
No, you always call them the no things.
The not things is right. Not things is Because he goes. He says
we are not things.
We are not things. Yeah.
I swear I always say not things.
Nah.
I think that's another example of like, you can very much apply that to like AI and stuff as well. Because it's like, because that's what that does. It gets like, oh, you know, the mouth won't move quite right, or like it won't quite understand the way that knees bend, or it won't quite understand, you know, how
and
like,
I think
arms
even
work.
Even in some of the, like you were saying there about how AI is trying to understand like emotion and, you know, all of those human, it might be able to like physically mirror us and resemble a human being, but as soon as it speaks and you get I mean, I love that first scene of the Doctor's duplicate coming in, and the way that Tennant plays it, because immediately you go, something's not right, but it's not like it's not overplayed.
Obvious, it's not like
it's subtle, it's nuanced.
It was the body language. As soon as you walk through the door and then goes to the wall and starts sliding down, I was like, that's not the Doctor.
Yeah, it's really odd, isn't it?
It's really bizarre.
It's
but like,
line,
obviously,
we get hungry, don't we?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you said what now?
It's that thing of like, oh yeah, I don't quite understand how you work, even though I look, you know, because that is David Tennant. He looks identical to the Doctor, but you know, just the lack of understanding of
and the learning. Yeah,
and that kind of, I think that was what was most creepy about that episode for me. Because you get the little bits of body horror, like you say, the arms are too long, or the jaw and the you know, the weird sort of Snapchat filter chase through where the faces are all distorted and stuff. But like for me, it was that sort of like quiet, like, no, we're learning a little bit, like I guess the Midnight Entity.
Yeah.
That sort of like, no, I'm absorbing this and I'm taking this in, and
well, he even says, doesn't he, when he's escaping, he goes, "I'm as clever as you now." In that monotone voice, that sent me onto a different planet. Terrified me.
I mean, I love Wild Beyond It. It's my highlight of what 2020's Doctor Who probably. It's like that. That's the one episode where I'm like, that is,
peak.
That is peak. Like, obviously, there's other episodes I really enjoy, but that episode for me is like the one where I'm like, that stands among. That stands among, like, a bit
it's the greats
in
in
that
it.
way. I think it does. I think it is on that level, or at least close to it. And it's so good. And I mean, Tennant's performance, I think he's just really good at doing possession. I don't know when he's like has to be someone possessed or not quite right. He just knows how to do it. It's really quite.
It's quite unsettling.
Yeah,
and I think it comes with sort of obviously his doctor or doctors. It's very sort of energetic, and it's got all of the really wide facial expressions and all of this. It's very animated, and then as soon as you sort of
take that away,
strip that back down, and you've got sort of that dullness behind the eyes, and it's unsettling. Yeah,
his eyes.
But great performance.
Like, his eyes completely change, like, shape almost. It's mad how they just then it's the same face, but also it isn't quite. Despite the fact that it is, like, it is still David Tennant. He is still there. But it feels the life is gone. I don't know how he did it, but like it's mad. Like, that performance is. I don't think he gets enough props for like how good that performance was, because like. I don't know many actors who could quite do that to such a degree. It's so good, and I mean, just kind of that sense of what I was going to say as well is when you have like, I always view it as like, when you have like a reboot of something or like a continuation of something, and it's the same people but it doesn't quite feel the same. I think there's an interesting reading you can have of Wild Beyond It as almost a commentary to that. In a sense, because
that's interesting.
The entity is kind of like mimicking all of the visuals of that Doctor and the mannerisms of that Doctor, but none of the soul is there anymore. None of the none of the humanity or the emotion is left. And so I think that's an interesting way you can view it. I mean, at least that's something that I was thinking about as well. It's kind of because obviously it is him coming back to that role. But you can also it's kind of commentary on those remakes that are just characters just saying insert famous line from thing that they were known for, which no normal person would ever do. Like, I mean, I love No Way Home. I love Spider-Man No Way Home, but there's that bit where Norman Osborn, like, kind of he like smiles directly to the camera and says, I'm something of a scientist myself, and it's and it's like. No one would actually speak like that, though. Like, that character wouldn't actually reference that as a thing that he said. Because why would he? If to him it's just a thing he said 20 years ago to some guy. Like, why?
That is a line from a movie script from a character. It's very obviously
kind of recontextualized by the character speaking it themselves, and it kind of. It's that level of slightly not feeling fully authentic. And I think that's kind of what the things tap into as well, because, he says lines that almost sound like they could be Doctor lines, but aren't. It's like, oh, I loved that man, talking about Wilf. And obviously the Doctor does love Wilf, but he can never quite say it that matter-of-factly. It would always be quite a bit more, it'd be more everything but that. Essentially, he would say it without saying it, whereas obviously the not thing doesn't understand those nuances yet. So that episode's fantastic. I could talk about that one for so much. It's so good.
That's a really interesting read, though. I've never even thought of that. Yeah. That's just made me appreciate it even more. Yeah,
I'm glad. Yeah.
great stuff. Who else has got one?
Do you have one? You haven't really said one.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry.
Well, the classic one I was thinking of, because again, I don't know if there's a lot of sort of spooky moments. Like, I think there's some great like monster reveals in Classic Who, like especially on like a cliffhanger. You know, like we were speaking a few weeks ago about the cliffhanger for part 1 of Terror of the Zygons.
Yeah.
Just that first shot of that you get to see it in full, where it's sort of attacking Sarah in the cottage. But like for me, it's the sort of I think this is what I've noticed as I was kind of putting my list together. It's the more sort of cerebral, psychological horror that freaks me out more than sort of like. Yeah, it was. So the one that stood out for me in Classic Who is the bit in the Mind Robber where you get that illusion of Jamie and Zoe like beaming and like beckoning to the. Oh, there's something about that really unsettles me.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, like we were saying earlier, I think it's that kind of, it's the same thing as, you know, the classic sort of horror trope of having a kid, that like a creepy kid, or having a nursery rhyme, but that's okay because it's all like lovely and childlike, but twisting that and making it kind of, you know, scary. There's something about just those characters who you love.
Yeah.
But that smile that's not legit.
Yeah.
It feels.
There's no soul behind it. It's just.
Yeah, and that
on the
that
surface.
beckoning.
Yeah.
Just quickly on that as well, with Sarah Jane Adventures, the Clyde Langer episode, where they all turn on him, and like he's got no idea like why. They just genuinely hate him now. And like stuff like that, it's just like that's quite scary. Just the idea of everyone just randomly waking up one day and deciding, we hate you with like all of, you know, even, and it's sort of the same with the 73 Yards as well with the woman, and then obviously you've got Carla being like, oh, you're not even my kid, which is funny because like she always seems to be saying that. She seems to be saying that more often than she's saying she likes the movie at this point. But yeah, like stuff like that, the idea of like people you love turning on you on a dime for reasons you don't know, or someone not existing, but you remember them, but no one else does. That's another one. Like obviously, again, Sarah Jane Adventures again, the first Trickster one, where whatever happened to Sarah Jane, where she's just gone, and everyone's acting like everything is the same as it always was. And yeah, I think that would drive you insane, knowing a version of the world that existed but doesn't now, but you're still aware of that world that existed before. Like it's something that kind of gets glossed over in Series 3 when they reversed the Master, the Master's year in Last of the Time Lords. But like, I always think like it must be really traumatic for like the Joneses, just sort of sitting there having to like know what happened but can't really ever speak about it beyond themselves because no one else does. So like that sort of thing obviously as well. We had it recently with Ruby as well, where she remembered Poppy and no one else does. That kind of thing could be quite like just the idea of people turning on you, or you knowing things and being like, why doesn't everyone remember? But they just don't. I think that's quite effective in just being like a kind of a mind-bending thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's quite sort of, I guess, kind of existential and like plays into like really deep sort of themes. Because just as you were talking there about like, I think that's a great point about not remembering a reality that's, and you being the only one that remembers it. When I said, oh, I've not really got any fears, thinking about it, my like biggest fear is like losing touch of reality, or like going insane, or like and that I think those stories sort of explore that and kind of, because I think they just sort of chip away at your sanity and make you sort of double guess.
Yeah, no, I completely. It's the same reason I love something like The Truman Show, which is obviously, someone realizing that their reality isn't real. And I mean, it's the same reason I loved The World in Wishworld, that idea of what you were saying earlier, a world that isn't quite right. I was there, so I technically exist in both timelines. I wonder,
Oh my god.
So I guess I do have the memories of it. But yeah, no, that kind of that's always fascinated me. There, the idea of like finding out that your entire like existence is like not real, like that's mad, like or it's just in a show or something. And
that's the freaky thing about with Silence in the Library and Forest of the Dead, specifically Donna.
Yeah, Donna's of reality.
The
Dr. Moon is.
Yeah, and the line of the kids being like, sometimes when you turn away, it's like we just stop.
It's horrible.
It's scary.
Yeah.
And even the thing with Dr. Moon where it's and then you remembered.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. So just there's something about that, like just being able to play with people's perception of, and I think also like in the Moffat era you get a little bit more exploration of perception, and I was thinking about that little bit in Asylum of the Daleks where Amy walks in. And you've got the ballerina and the and it's all this beautifully shot stuff, and then you get the cut and it's just a load of Daleks in there. Really, really bizarre. And I think the God Complex does a bit of that as well with the that sort of shifting perspective of the corridors are getting longer and wrapping round on themselves, and you've got all of those sort of shots where the praise him sequences where it's that kind of like crash editing where like the smiles and the screaming and
giggling.
I speaking of that as well. Speaking of giggling, it's the scene in the Toymaker's realm as well, where obviously it comes back to the puppets slightly, but that whole thing with the Stooky babies and and obviously the corridors all shifting around, and then the Doctor being puppeted around. I think there's so many cool but spooky visuals in that sequence. I think it's really cool. That's something I want. I want a sequel to that. That's just an entire episode in the Toymaker's domain. Because then you could just do so much with it. And I think obviously they did a lot in that one. I think they've really just scratched the surface of what you could do with that concept with the budget of now. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I'd
So-
love to see something like that, even if it just beginning in the toy maker's shop, and then as they go through the door and the corridors and stuff, and what each room would bring, what each game would bring, separating them like the original classic version, but with a modern twist. That would be just a whole I could watch hours of that.
Yeah.
That would be so fun.
The giggle as a noise, even just that is quite a it's obviously I know people kind of got sick of hearing it because of all the god stuff, but personally I've always found it a really effective something's happening here. I don't know what it is. It's just, again, I think it's that level of the fakeness of the emotion. It's not a real laugh that someone actually gives. It's the laugh of someone pretending to laugh. It's the laugh of someone putting on a laugh. It's the rather than actual. No one laughs like that in real. No one laughs like that. But it is.
There's no true emotion behind it or something to react that kind of laughter out of you.
Yeah. It reminded me a little bit of do you remember Woody Woodpecker?
Yeah.
The cartoon. And that the laugh that he would do always used to annoy me because it never sounded genuine.
Yeah.
I never found it creepy. I found it frustrating.
Yeah.
But it'd be that it's like, yeah, I know you're a cartoon bird, but nobody laughs like that.
Laugh normally.
It's really annoying.
Laugh normally, bird. Yeah.
Well, another one I was just thinking of actually about the when I was talking about the mind robber beckoning is Toby on the planet's surface in The Impossible Planet.
It's very good.
Oh, yeah, that scene, and I think just how it's all shot, and it just feels wrong. Like I think the Murray score in that as well. That beautiful sort of, classical like string motif, and there's just something about it that's really unsettling because it's kind of beautiful but really horrific at the same time. And that fake smile and the that slow sort of turn to with the glass cracking. And
what I really love about Toby's Ed is there is pure evil behind his eyes.
Yeah, that actor does really
he does really well to sell that, because you fully believe that he is possessed by a beast, by the devil.
Yeah,
like you have like quirky, I'm possessed by whatever this devil being, whatever, Satan, I don't know, and you can have it in like horror films and it's like, okay, yeah, that's a quirky whatever, but he genuinely has that evil and what's what hatred behind those eyes, which completely contradicts what's saying on his face. It's terrifying.
I was going to say, I think the scene as well with the don't turn around and that first just, I mean, we were talking earlier about last week's episode was Pyramids of Mars that we did, and talking about Gabriel Wolf and how incredible he is.
So good.
It's interesting earlier that you were saying about with Tom walking in and not joking around, and it immediately sells it, because we were talking about that ourselves.
Tone, doesn't it? It just sets a completely different, like, oh no, this is serious now. Like, there's a different. Immediately you go, oh, okay, no, we're not. But he means business, and this isn't normal,
we should be scared of him.
Yeah.
But that voice of Gabriel Wolf, I mean, like as the Beast, it's such a like really, really unsettling sequence, because it is just a bloke in a room, not looking over his shoulder. But that, I don't know, there's so much malice and like real malevolence in that voice, that don't turn around. He's so good. That sort of whisper, but it also sort of booms. It's it sounds like a shout, but I don't know how he does it. It's brilliant.
Like, with Gabriel, like there's like a level of like authority, like just like it's booming, but it's not shouting. It's like
he doesn't need to raise his voice.
No, exactly.
It's got that, just immediately got that gravitas.
It's the same with Sutek as well. Like,
power.
He never speaks that loudly. If anything, he's almost whispering, which is what's scary about it. He's like, your evil is my good. It's quite a low register, quite a I barely like move my mouth to do that, but that's because it's quite restricted. But like, so much is expressed through such a almost monotone voice, but it isn't. But I think you get what I'm saying. It's like, it's not overly emotive, but like you can tell what it's expressing through very little, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, he's commanding and authoritative, so he doesn't need to shout. He doesn't need to raise his voice. Just say it.
I think there's just so much like character in that voice, isn't there, and so much presence from quite a small dynamic range. He, like you say, he doesn't have to raise his voice. And I think that's part of the terror. It's like I don't have to shout.
No.
Like, I can whisper and you will
crumble.
I don't even have to stand up. I can do everything from this throne. Like, it's just that undiluted power and evil, which really,
like,
really, really good.
Theoretically, he could have like with Sutek or with the Beast, he could have shouted it, but you know, it wouldn't have been as effective, would it? Like,
no,
we hear a million villains go, "I am this, and I'm gonna take things over," and like that just sounds like everything else. But you know, just to go like, you know, it's where I tread, I leave nothing but dust and darkness. You know, it's just there's just a completely different flavour to that. I love Sutek. I mean, you probably tell. He's
I know. I've been looking at your mask this whole time.
Yeah, no, he's always been a favourite. I'm so glad they got Gabriel Wolf back to do the voice, even though the story itself, we don't need to talk about that. That's just...
I've just been talking about it for the past 2 hours, and I don't want to ever talk about it again.
Oh wow, you've just done that. Oh wow.
Yeah.
He's one of the greats, isn't he?
Yeah.
One of the greats.
100%. One of my favourite like Doctor Who villains ever, and it's just it's that level of he doesn't need to do anything, but you're just like, oh, you know, he has more. I mean, look. I mean, Sutek in that story like has more presence than like most big CGI big monsters ever can have. You know, and it's just a bloke in a mask sat in a chair.
Yeah,
but
it's just drenched in character, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so good. I thought of one moment, not like you know when you said moments that like made me jump. And kind of cliffhangery moments. Classic Who-wise, there is one of my favourite Classic Who stories. Obviously, it's not a particularly groundbreaking one, but Tomb of the Cybermen obviously is. But it's the bit at the end of part 1 where they're going deeper into the tomb, and they come across the stunt Cyberman that just swings up, and then bang, credits. Like I remember being like, what? You know what happened there? Like, oh god! First time I watched that, it was like, wow, you know. And that's another one where the atmosphere of it is just, and the music is just so suspenseful, and you know, it's kind of the tomb is picking like everyone off individually. I think atmosphere is so good in like a lot of those Classic Who stories. Especially because obviously I love Murray Gold as well, but like sometimes having that kind of those quiet moments really accentuates when something can be like really impactful.
Absolutely.
It's choosing your moments precisely, isn't it, to have silence?
Because
you can overdo it, but when you get them just on that right moment, it's like
a good placed bit of silence can be really like impactful. It's just knowing when to have them. Like, you know, dialogue scenes, you can have music over that, that's fine, but like, you know, if there's like a scary, you know, if you want something to be scary, it's probably going to be more so, less is more, I think, that's the thing, and it's kind of what you were saying about the scene in Satan Pit, the two-parter, where he's like, don't turn around. I think the fact that you don't see anything is what makes that work. Same with the Midnight Entity, or you know, things like that. It's the not knowing is almost the scary part. You know, if you were to show the Midnight Entity, or if you were to show what was going on behind him, or you know, if you were to,
it becomes
less interesting, and it becomes a thing. You get another thing. It's just another thing. It's just another random Doctor Who monster. And I think there's another, like, it's 11th Hour as well. I think Moffat was playing with this from day one. Like, the idea of seeing something in the corner of your eye that you sometimes, your eye kind of gets drawn away from, but, like, once you notice it, you can't unnotice it. It's like, that's like a common experience that everyone's had as well.
It's really interesting. I mean, Moffat loves doing that, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, I know we spoke a little bit about, like, the monster under the bed and, you know, creepy statues and the fear of the dark and stuff like that. But like, as you say, something in the corner of your eye, or when you walk into a room and you've forgotten why you walked in, that's because you've spotted a silent on the way. Just like the things with that, and playing with really common you know. And more broadly, it's something that Doctor Who does, as we were saying right back at the start with the Autons, and you know, taking something that exists in the real world and going, well, that's a bit weird, isn't it? Like, or a gas mask, or a gargoyle, or you know, and going, that's a bit weird. What if we made this absolutely terrifying in a Doctor Who episode? Like, and it just repeatedly does that really, really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it when Amy investigates the orphanage on Day of the Moon. So I'm reading.
Yeah.
I'm reading your notes.
You've read my notes upside down.
I have read your notes upside down. I absolutely love it. Just from not even just from like a spooky standpoint, this set design is absolutely incredible. I love the the guy who like looks after the grounds.
Oh yeah, and he's
the whole conversation with him. That's just chilling as well. Like that, the atmosphere and the setup with all of that is just absolutely like. What's that word? What I'm doing right now?
Captivating? I don't know what you're going for.
Tense.
Yeah, is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, you're on the edge of your seat and you're tense and you're like, oh god, what's going to come next?
Yeah.
It just looks so good. That's it. Thank you, Tharries. So good. Yeah,
I think all of that. I mean, that there's some great moments in that series generally. Like, I think the other one I've got down there is the Doctor's Wife with Amy going through the TARDIS and like seeing Rory's like the older Rory and then the corpse and
of him and all the kill Amy.
Yeah, like die Amy written on the wall. Like, that's
like that went dark.
I think as well that's another one where it's taking something that should be safe and should be warm. And just going, no, it's trying to kill you now. Like, and I think that works so well. And I think because the TARDIS is that like that place of, you know, what do they always say in classic Who? They always say, get back to the TARDIS. The TARDIS is where safety is. So to completely invert that, I always love TARDIS episodes in general for mainly that reason. I think it's such a fun device to play with. But I think Doctor's Wife does it brilliantly, like you were saying. Like, that's quite horrifying. Like, the idea of Rory being left for, like, thousands of years, just being left there to kind of rot. But obviously she doesn't, from her perspective, she just saw him 5 seconds ago. Like, it's you know, it's using time travel in that way to just do something really quite like, I can't even just think of the words, like, quite unsettling, you know? It explores the ramifications of it in more of a way than, you know, perhaps you might otherwise. Because I always think about, coming back to like the whole reality thing as well, like, obviously the ending of Back to the Future, there's an interview with the original actor, because it originally wasn't going to be Michael J. Fox. It was originally going to be someone else, whose name again escapes me. Names, terrible with names. But he didn't really view Back to the Future as a comedy, because it's a comedy about you know, meeting your parents in the 50s. He says something to the effect of, I think it's a tragedy. Marty remembers a time that no one else does. He remembers a version of his family that don't exist anymore, because obviously when he goes back, that family is different. You know, it's not the family we start in the film with. They've got a nice house now, and you know, that's seen as like a nice, you know, kind of hero's journey, nice fulfillment moment of, he gets a nice life after all of this. But if you actually think about it, it's like, the world he was in no longer is around, you know, from his perspective.
Yeah.
So when you think about it like that, it's quite
I mean, I think it's kind of similar to, you know, the sort of, I mean, sorry to bring it up, guys, but Belinda's ending in Reality War, and like the whole idea of just completely 180ing her life, and she's got no idea. I remember seeing it.
Choice either.
I remember seeing a tweet about it being like, "This is the most horrific thing I've seen in Doctor Who in a while." Like, just fundamentally, that's like deeply unnerving.
I almost wonder how the reception to that would have been if it was treated like a tragic ending. If it was treated as like oh, something's been lost. Kind of like what happened with Donna, in a sense. When her memories get lost, it's seen as, yeah, she's fine, but like she's
it's
not
sort of
really,
bittersweet, isn't
yeah,
it?
she's not really the same person she was as a result of the series. And I think if they had done that with Belinda, I think a lot of people would have gone, oh, that makes more sense. But it's the way that it's treated as, oh, this is how she was always supposed to be. It's like, no, she wasn't. We've seen what she was like for, 7 weeks before this, or 6 weeks.
It's played as a happy ending, isn't it? It's played as a...
Well, the same with Back to the Future, like, that's the thing. Whereas if you think about
exactly.
that type of thing, and I think that's that a lot of people take away from Reality One. I do wonder if it had been played as a more of a tragic thing, in a sense, if that reaction would have been quite the same, or if it would have... People would have gone, oh, okay, it's kind of a bittersweet thing, it's like with Donna, but then at the same time, you can't really do that and then have the Doctor go and die, because then that's just really depressing. So I don't know, like, it's one of those things, like, man, Belinda, don't get started on Belinda.
It's not that type.
I'm sorry.
No,
it's not that type of pod today.
Should we have a look at some of the suggestions that people put on? So I know we had a couple of comments.
I feel like I stole one, but in fairness, I would have brought it up anyway if someone else hadn't said it.
I know exactly what one you mean.
It's absolutely fine.
And we'll jump onto that one instantly, because I completely agree. Rory, who we've had on the podcast before. Hello, Rory. Shout out to Rory. He said, if we take into account the rest of the universe, I was always more scared of the episode in its entirety and just Odd Bob the Clown.
Yeah.
Especially when he appears in Ronnie's home, or when Clyde is alone in school. Yeah. As a kid, I got scared being alone in school because of it.
Yeah.
So it is.
I love that this episode had the impact that it had and managed to scare me in a way that Doctor Who never quite did, like you were saying, Tharries.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'd say this was the only episode to give me nightmares, and I had a fear of clowns for a while after this.
Yeah.
I love that and still get the shivers watching this episode. Everything in this episode is working to be terrifying, and it works, especially for a children's show. The music is just so unnerving, and the fact that Sarah Jane is afraid of the villain and clowns in general, every moment in this story just installs fear in the best ways.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I'm glad that it is a somewhat shared experience.
You're not on your own.
None of my other siblings found it scary, and I was like, but it's
terrifying.
It's horrible. So I'm glad that now
it's a shared and communal experience.
Well, my sister's not really a Doctor Who fan, and like there's some episodes that she loves Partners in Crime and just the slapstick comedy with David Tennant and Catherine Tate and the Adipose and stuff.
Yeah.
But the Sarah Jane Adventures, when that was coming out, I think because probably a combination of the fact that it was sort of aimed at a younger audience, and around when that first came out, she would have been about 6, 7, something like that.
Yeah.
And I think probably also having a female lead and stuff like that, it maybe felt a bit more aimed towards her. But I spoke to her last year sometime, and she was saying about how she'd gone back and rewatched all the Sarah Jane Adventures.
Yeah.
But had to skip Day of the Clown.
Yeah.
She was like, no. She was like, absolutely not. And I'm sure there was another. Oh, I think it might have been The Nightmare Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, where I was like, oh, did you watch this one? She was like, wait, which one's that? Sent her a photo, and she was like, no, go away, get it off. Yeah. So yeah, it's interesting that Sarah Jane Adventures hit so hard for some people.
It did.
Yeah. I've got one here. Joshua Carpenter says, conceptually, as an adult, it's the Cybermen. How close they are to us, knowing that what their bodies and souls have been corrupted into. It's juicy horror. Juicy horror indeed. Honourable mention, Satan from the Satan Pit. How expansive it stretches, the horror of its design and booming voice, but also its consciousness spreading beyond its prison, and its deeply haunting, malevolent voice. Mm-hmm. As a kid, I fucking hated the werewolf from Tooth and Claw.
Yes, that creepy little bastard.
Fair. The only time ever watching Who It's Been Too Scary for me in this instance, as a 7-year-old, my dad had to change the channel to watch the snooker instead. Yeah, I mean, the scariest thing about Tooth and Claw is for me, it's not the werewolf itself,
No,
it's the host.
Yeah, the host.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Like that. I think I've said to you before, Kat. Like the voice, like that kind of like. It's that slightly high-pitched sort of Scottish accent, the moonlight. That sort of like sing-song, like, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Laurie says, for me, it was Sec taking in Diagoras in Daleks in Manhattan, but I've recently overcome that. So I guess that's
I get that. It's kind of similar to the Ood thing you were saying earlier, isn't it? It's the weird like
sort of gross body horror, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's it. But it's interesting because that's one that like I'd never have thought to bring up.
Yeah, it is weird because like the Dalek does effectively give birth to it. It's kind of weird to look at as a visual.
It's got some kind of weird like yonic imagery to it, like
it does.
in the same way. You know how this, like the xenomorph in Aliens got some, that sort of symbolism. Yeah, some odd stuff there.
Yeah.
Yuck.
We've also got some aliens. So we've had the Lazarus scorpion thing.
See, that never did anything for me. I think for me that one is one of them where it's like I knew that one wasn't real. Because you know how we were saying earlier, like the gas masks, like that still aged well. I think I looked at the Lazarus monster and just went, nah, that's
that's such bad CGI. You're not scared of me.
Yeah, I think even as a kid,
you tried.
I was like, nah, I can tell,
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, the second monster we had was the Ganger from The Almost People. You know, the one that comes smashing through the window.
It's like Jennifer's like elongated. It's blurring out.
Another one.
Yeah, that's kind of creepy. And again, the CGI on that's not great, but that you could argue that kind of adds to it in some respects.
I mean, like one of the interesting things with that, I would say as well, is the flesh Matt Smith. It's the version of Matt Smith where it's got like a fleshy face.
Sheen. Yeah.
For the cliffhanger of the first part where he's like screaming and you got like the bloodshot eyes and it's not quite fully formed yet. Yeah. That is kind of...
It's not nice, is it?
It's unpleasant.
You can tell it's him, but again, it's not quite there.
It's not quite. What else have we got here? Dino Boy 26 says the Absorbaloff is the scariest Doctor Who monster ever, mostly because of the tiny underwear.
You know what?
Fair.
Understandable.
Yeah.
I don't want to see what's under there. And I don't think
nobody wants to see that. That little Absorbaloff thong.
In fairness, right, I will say, I mean, it's quite a terrible fate for anyone, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Being sucked into that belly, really.
Yeah.
It's not a great... It's not a great end.
I wouldn't choose it.
No. It's not a great end.
I can think of better ways to go.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
One of them ended up on his bum as well.
Yeah. Bless Bliss.
It was Bliss, was it?
Was it
well,
Bliss?
it wasn't very Bliss.
It was Bliss, yeah. Spidey Steve says, obvious answer, but when they learn that angels can come through the screens in the Series 5 two-parter.
I get that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think that's one of them where it's like,
tense moment.
Yeah, that is like wow, there's just no limit to them at all.
Yeah.
Like, kind
Mm-hmm.
You throw, I think that's one of the things that's interesting, you throw like a boundary at the angels and they just go, no, let's just find another way, you know.
Yeah.
I also think in that same episode you've got Angel Bob as well, who's like... It's the obviously the reanimated voice of someone the angels have killed. It's like, I was killed by the angels, so they snapped my neck or whatever it is. He says, oh wow, that's good.
It is horrible. Yeah.
I really hate. I know we were talking about this a couple of weeks ago, but like the thing of when a character can talk about being dead.
Yes.
Like. But there's something really unnerving about that. I mean, a couple of weeks ago we were talking about Chimes of Midnight, like we were saying about the bit in Name of the Doctor where they're in the sort of trance meeting thing.
Yeah.
And Jenny has that moment. She's like, "Mom, I think I've been murdered."
Yeah.
Like, you know, she didn't quite sound like Oliver Twist when.
Yeah.
Please, sir.
Oh, Mom, I think I've been murdered. I've done enough of murdering. But yeah, there's something really unsettling about that. Like, I don't know what it is. I think it's the unreality of somebody being able to be like, I'm dead.
Yeah, but they are alive and talking.
Yeah.
I get that. I think that's another reason. I don't know why this keeps coming back to AI, but it's just maybe it's just on my mind at the moment. But it's like when you hear a dead person speak using like AI, or like in Star Wars they had like Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
Like I think it was Rogue One originally. They had like her like CGI and like sort of they recreated her voice, and it's just kind of like something about it that just feels wrong. You know, the way I always think about it is it's like that bit in Army of Ghosts when Jackie's like, you know, don't you think it's beautiful? It's like, I think it's horrific.
Yeah.
The idea of you know, the idea of, you know, reanimating the dead, I think is just a really like off-putting thing generally.
Yeah.
And it's no matter how like tastefully it's ever been done, I'm always like something quite off about it. You know, the only time it hasn't bothered me is when it was Paul Walker in Fast and
I was
Furious.
just about to say,
and I think the reason for that is because it was his brother that did the fill-in bits, so it didn't quite feel as weird. I don't know, and obviously there's still bits of it that are him, so it's like I don't know.
Yeah, and I think the context of it as well, the fact that he'd obviously died during shooting, and it was for them to sort of finish him and honor his, you know, honor his memory and stuff, and it felt like it's like it maybe doesn't look 100%, but I think it's
close enough, and
and you kind of give it the goodwill for what they're going for, and obviously whereas like
the one that I always point to is like the Flash movie where they have like CGI Christopher Reeve.
It's just ghoulish. It's just it's horrible. Like, because you're doing it on a computer doesn't mean that it's like any better than literally just tying some string to his corpse and like puppeteering him around. Like that's how it feels. Like
it does
it's
feel
really
good. And bringing it back to Doctor Who, I always thought funny example, the heads in Dimensions in Time of William Hartnell and Patrick Troughton, because I rewatched Dimensions in Time recently for a video, and the heads of William Hartnell and Patrick Troughton are quite like disturbing looking. Like they do look like, you know, they've been like taken off the body. It's weird. Like, you know, they look like, you know, there's like a weird like sort of like shadow around their eyes. Like it's really quite weird. So yeah, stuff like that. I think just the idea of like someone being dead but sort of, you know, puppeteering them around or like making them say things or do things. I don't like it, and I think it does bring up an element of like genuine moral kind of red flag in me as well. Like I don't think I could ever do it if they did it with like one of the Doctors or something. Like give me David Bradley any day of the week over like William Hartnell CGI AI.
Absolutely.
You know, into an episode. Like personally, it's just
100%.
Yeah, and it's that thing of like you also can't quite pull it off like sort of accurately enough to fool me.
Yeah.
So like all I'm doing when I'm seeing a scene like that, when you know somebody's like it's somebody that's dead, reimagined through CGI or like making somebody look younger than they did or whatever. All I'm doing when I'm watching that scene is going, oh, they've used CGI here, like, or like I'm taken out of the story,
And I think even if it got to a point where it was good enough to where you didn't notice, I still think there'd be an element of the morality of it just feels that feels wrong, you know. Even if it looked amazing, there's an element to it of like, but is it right? You know what I mean? Like, You know, there's a different. You know, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do it.
Doesn't mean you should. Yeah.
Exactly. It's Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's,
you know, and I think
you're too busy thinking about whether you could. You didn't stop to think whether you should. Like,
yeah, and it's the same thing goes with like Big Finish would be another example. Like I'd much rather sooner have an impressionist over them feeding the voice of, you know,
100%.
Like, you know, John Pertwee or something into like a machine and going, there you go. 'Cause it just
Haven't done that, have they?
I don't think they have.
No.
I'm saying if they ever did, like, no.
Yeah.
I'd be like, nah.
Yeah.
You know, just out of principle, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's grim. Well, I've got one more comment.
And then I've got one that I just remembered that I want to finish off the podcast with.
Okay. Dylan Thompson said, "Oh, I went to school with Dylan."
Nice.
Dylan Thompson says, "For me, it's always been silence in the library. From the start, the spotlights and the shadows coming from the skylights and the blood-chilling music create a sense of uneasiness, and the vibes are simply immaculate. For me, a moment where I turned to my mum and said, 'I don't think I can watch this anymore,' was when the chicken leg was thrown under the table and a bone landed on the floor. I was 7.
Yeah,
fair.
Absolutely.
Fair.
It's a freaky moment. Go on, what were you going to say?
Okay, I think one that we've missed, and in a minute we're going to go, of course. Probably the scariest moment in at least modern Who is in Dark Water.
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
Yeah.
With the screams coming through. Is it screams or what is it?
The Don't Cremate
Don't Cremate Me through the...
Yeah, that's horrific.
Well, that's so
That's
bad
probably
that's so bad that they did get complaints for that. Like they almost did get pulled off the air for that.
Yeah.
I'm of the opinion of I understand why. You know, I don't want to be Mary Whitehouse or anything, because I do think that the job of Doctor Who is to scare people. But in that specific instance, I'm like, yeah, that might be a step over.
I love it.
Oh, I think it's really effective horror. I just think for kids specifically, like I always imagine just if you were a kid who just like buried a relative or cremated a relative or something, you know, and then you hear that, you'd be like, oh no,
oh my
like,
god,
you
know,
so that's one where I get why they were complaints about that.
Absolutely.
It's not often I side with like the British public, the TV. But in that instance, I'm kind of like, I kind of get it.
Yeah,
like,
okay, I'll give you that one.
Yeah,
that one's
fair enough. No, that is quite a terrifying one, isn't it? Like, just the idea. Yeah.
Again, it's back to that existentialism and the, you know, sort of, the horror of the unknown and, you know, I think it's that thing of like, we will never know whilst we're alive.
Yeah.
What happens on, you know, everyone's got their theories, but like
we don't know.
There is a possibility that like it's a horrific idea, isn't it? That like even after death, like the dead stay conscious. Like, it's horrible.
Reminds me of as well.
That's a great one.
Miracle Day, obviously, where no one can die. So they just start shoving people into ovens and just let burn.
Spoilers.
Is that spoiler?
I'm like one episode. Sorry. I'm one episode in.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I've never seen Miracle Day.
No, Tharries, don't apologize. It's like 15 years old. Like,
but
I've never seen Miracle Day before. I'm like an episode.
To be fair, I hadn't seen Torchwood until a couple of years ago. In fairness, so I'll give you that because
I hadn't seen Children of Earth till last year. That was the first time I had seen Children of Earth.
Damn.
Last year.
To be fair, I don't think I've seen Miracle Day since it came out.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll give that a rewatch at some point.
Yeah. I won't say anything more on Miracle Day unless the one line I will say, the one line that I absolutely love is just a Gwen line where she says, where it's like, you're the best England's got to offer, and she just decks her and says, I'm Welsh, and that's it.
Yeah. I'm Welsh.
Yeah, I love that. So good. That line.
It's great.
It's great. Sorry for spoiling that, but
No, it's fine.
I mean, there's so many more horrific things that happen in that series. Like that's one of
Okay, real quick then. Last one. Torchwood in the Cyberwoman episode with the conversion that goes wrong, and he's just got like pieces of metal coming out of his skull.
Scientist.
Oh yeah.
All that visual.
Yeah, the sort of.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, that's rough.
It's so annoying because that episode would be up there with the greats if they. Why did they design the Cyberwoman like that? If they properly designed her to
cyber bikini.
Yeah, get rid of the cyber bikini. Have her designed how she should. Don't sexualize her, even though it's torture. Don't sexualize her.
But it's Torchwood, man.
No,
it's Torchwood. Everything's hot and sexy.
Her hot and sexy suit doesn't reflect the tone of the episode and the horrors that go with it.
Yeah, I know. It's Torchwood being like this. This ain't your granddaddy's Doctor Who, man. Yeah.
I'd say as that as well. I'll add one more on there. Just adding on Torchwood ones is it Jack the guy? Not Jack. Sorry. What's the name of? It's the episode where a guy infiltrates Torchwood and pretends like he was always there.
Adam,
that was it. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
And he convinces Yanto that he'd like...
Yes.
Yeah, he convinces Yanto that he'd like murdered someone, I think, or like...
No, that he's
like a serial killer,
Yeah.
That's a terrifying episode.
That's horrific.
But David, is he called David? No.
Gareth David Lloyd.
I always get his name mixed up. I'm so sorry.
In fairness, he does have 3 first names.
I lose it every time. He plays that so well.
Yeah.
He's like, it's like that's like one of his best performances.
Yeah.
Like it's insane.
He's brilliant in that. Yeah.
Really good. Like he sells it immediately. I'm like, I remember watching it. Like I did Torchwood rewatch last year, and I remember watching it, and I was getting convinced that I didn't know what the plot was. I was like, wait, is he a serial killer? Like he was selling it. Like it was insane. It was so good.
Again, it's playing with that
sense of reality,
perception and sense of reality, and
your own mind, like mind, like tricking you, or like, and that, like, I always love like, I love dream episodes generally as well. So Amy's Choice as well. I mean, Amy's Choice is just one of my all-time favorites in general. But yeah, like that whole idea of like the world not being what it is, and like your memory and stuff like that. I think that's just always really effective.
Yeah.
So, that's a fun one.
No,
very
absolutely.
Very morbid thing to end on if you think about it.
It's fine. It matches the tone of this episode.
Absolutely. Spooky October. It's been all about the macabre.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll wrap up there because I could quite happily chat for all evening about. I don't know how long we've been going for actually.
Yeah,
been 2 hours.
2 hours. Yeah.
Oh damn! Yeah.
Yeah. 2 hours.
Wow.
Sorry, Tharries, for keeping
That's fine.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, mate.
No worries at all.
Pleasure to have you on. Is there anything you'd like to plug before we go?
Just the YouTube channel. That's about it, really. If anyone, I should be uploading there soon. Not really. Been on a little bit of a break, but yeah, that's about it. Honestly, just that, really. If you want to find me anywhere else, I think it's normally at Tharries YT on Twitter, and I believe Instagram's the same as well. So that's
we'll put it all in the links below.
We'll. Kat says that like she does any of that. It's all down to me. All down to it. She's like, yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. Tip will do that.
We're a team.
But been a pleasure chatting.
No
I hope you have a good Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's come around quick, to be honest. I wasn't expecting like October is just like it's here now. Bam, there you go.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. It'll be Christmas before we know it.
Yeah.
I've been putting up Christmas trees at work, so
No.
Yeah.
I don't know why that just when people do that, it's like no. Yeah,
I think that's the scariest thing we've spoken about all episode.
Yeah,
Kat, in the meantime, where can they find you?
They can find me at simplykatie_XO on Instagram and Twitter. Where can they find you?
They can find me also on Twitter at Sun and Biscuit and on the Sun and Biscuit YouTube channel, which you may very well be listening to this here podcast on right now. Next week, we will be back to talk about, do you know what?
Yeah, I do.
Do you?
If you'd like to announce it.
I mean, that drum roll is going to be horrible on the mic, but thank you. We're going to be talking about the waters of Mars next week.
Yes, we are.
So
That'd be a fun one.
I'm looking forward to giving that one a rewatch.
Oh yeah, you love that one.
I do love this one.
It is good. It's good.
And it's also a nice little segue out of Spooky Hottober because it's still quite spooky.
It is. It's just
It's quite spooky. Yeah. But we'll see you there.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.